just under 10 seconds. This is an hourly Super Blitz arena. A cool group of 25 for this event. More, I imagine, will join. 3-0 time control, 57 minutes. 57-minute tournament. My opponent is throwing a Smith-Morra Gambit at me. So let's try d5. I don't play this so much. Let's play e6. And where to go with my queen once knight here is played? Or do I have to go anywhere? I think I'm alright with coming all the way back. I think all other squares she's a bit vulnerable. And so we're just going to look to play against this guy. So let's see. Bishop probably on e7. I'll look to play b6, bishop b7. Let's not do that too soon. I don't want to weaken these squares. Let's get castled first, so I'm not subjected to this check, or even queen a4. I think now's a fine time for this. Maybe even here. This would be a desirable exchange, but I am inconvenienced some, maybe not. As my knight is maybe stepping in the direction of d5. At the same time, this could be annoying. Here, bishop takes, knight e5, looking at knight c6. Yeah, that's a little bit concerning to me. So let's go here. On bishop a6 immediately, I think there was even knight c6 possibility. So this is the most disruptive piece, is the knight in my position. This is a poison pawn. I'm looking at knight c6, which would force either the knight to go back or a knight exchange, as I would then be threatening to win the d4 pawn. I have their queen under control. My minor pieces watch over that. Let's just go here. Maybe even look for knight b4 into d5. Interesting. Okay. I will grab that. And I'm going to go here. Okay, I like my position. This is now opposite color bishops, and my bishop should be pretty good here. Okay. Didn't expect that move. Well. Alright, let's think this one through some. I have some time here. I have a bit of a time edge. Now, if I go for this was my knee-jerk reaction, rook to d8. This is a bit uncomfortable. Multiple pins. I think this might be my moment to take here. Bishop takes b6. Bit of a bug. Well, I'm still going to... Oh, there's also queen a4, striking at my bishop. Well, it's going to get a little messy, but I'm going to do it. It won't get messy if knight takes here, but I think messy starts with that, and that's what they go for. Okay, I'm going to do this, anticipating bishop here. I want to play knight e4. I believe white is better now. Also, I need to be prepared to play this move to blunt this diagonal. I don't have a dark square bishop around. I have to take extra care of my dark squares. They're under a minute. I have pressure on b2, but that's probably something poison. Bishop is there to watch over it, and this guy is just doing absolutely nothing. I don't know about that. If they don't have anything right away, I might actually start to like my position, with the bishop being glued on d3. Although queen here is going to pick up the pawn. Yeah. So I'm going to be dropping this, but no, not necessarily. Oh, it's a bit ugly to do. f5, because then my queen has to be the one who defends g7. But I'm going to try it in order to save my e4 pawn. This is a bit debatable. The more conservative is is definitely... well, I also have to move fast too. Let's go here. I'm going to have my rook be the one devoted to defending g7. I need to free up my queen. Let's hit the bishop. About a 10-second edge. Let's actually go here. My bishop needs to reposition. Go here. Looking for a queen exchange. And can we get that? We have a queen exchange. Now I think I'm better. Yes. Let's reinforce this. They're looking to undermine that. So need to reinforce this guy. Yeah, now this is winning material. And we have a connected pass pawn. I could take him. I have a tough time tracking that pawn down. And just go here. And the king is cut off. And they resigned. Yeah, as mentioned, I could have played it conservative, just playing f6. Give up the pawn, but at least be assured that that bishop wouldn't have as much a say in that position. But okay, there was just a quick site update. That's why there was some delay there. Actually, that's why we gained some time just then. Okay. Okay, so I'm stripping white of the defense of e5. Now I get to develop with tempo. This is nice. Let's go here, and I'm threatening to pick up the bishop pair next with a6. Yeah. Now if bishop back, I have b5, and then I get the queen. So this is, I feel like this is already good for me. And I'm looking for a way to try to punish white. And I think I could with knight b4, and I'm looking at this hole at d3, which I believe I will get to. My knight's defended. I'm looking at knight d3 or even knight c2, so they can't just simply castle. Knight c2, so at the very least have this move, and I don't see a reason not to go straight in for that. Yeah, let's do that. They are now uncastled. Let's go here, defend c4. Let's also think about bishop b4. What's wrong with bishop b4? I may want to go to b4 to give check on c2 if the king goes in this direction. So I'm just looking at complete development. I shouldn't be looking for anything fancy here. I could also take on f2, actually. Yeah, I know I'm going to grab another pawn. I should have done that sooner. I have this move, or I could even return here. Let's, as I said, let's complete development. I'm up 2 pawns now. And let's go here. Strike at the rook. Get out of the pin soon. They could attack my knight. I think this is a fine spot for my king. They're going to try to undermine it. They are. Okay. But you know what? Oh my goodness, I could go for another pawn. I'm doing it. King takes, I get to take here. And now this is a beautiful spot for my knight, who basically negates the bishop. Opposite color bishops, this is too much material. They're down too much material, right? What am I talking opposite color bishops? Dude, we got dark square bishops on board. Okay, we're just going to take. I really would rather not help them develop. Where else is that knight going to go that's bothering me? No. Let's not help them develop. Just take with the rook. I'm controlling this pawn break. And now I'm just looking at stuff like this. Yeah. Welcome to all sorts of exchanges. Note on rook here, I shouldn't capture, because rook here, and if I take the bishop, I get skewered. So my idea would have been to just take the bishop had rook c1 been played. I think I could get away with just saving that pawn. No. Let's just finish development. Yeah, I could give back some material. Even pick up another pawn? Try that. Okay. Yeah, let's scoop him up. King f6. 51 seconds. Rook here's offset with rook a4, even if I drop these two pawns. Let's insert a check. I don't know here. Rook f8. And let's just welcome some exchanges. One rook. It's completely winning. This two rooks, I don't think I'll be allowing any counterplay here. Alright, let's just slowly start pushing these guys. My only sensitive point is really f7, but I have it covered. Looking at this next, I'd be fine with giving up two pawns just to get the rooks off, and that's what's going to happen, I imagine. So he's going to get that guy, but it's 4 versus 2, and these guys are split. This shouldn't be too difficult to convert. 31 seconds should be plenty. Get my king here. And then even maybe do something like this. No, I'm a bit fearful of some stalemates. Let's do this. And push. If my rook is here, guarding that square, there's stalemate ideas. I put my king here, maybe then rook e2, and then look for mate with this move. Also, okay. 17 seconds. I don't think I'm converting this the best. Okay, I'm going to put my rook on h1. I think I'm winning this pawn now. King here, I have check, and then check, and then I pick up the pawn with, well, not with check, but now I'm up 3. Here, and then rook up for mate soon. Ten seconds. Seven seconds. Watch out for stalemates. Rook here next. There's probably something easier there, huh? 5 seconds. Plenty of time. And there we go. Very time-consuming game, but in the end, we got the W. Okay, we have 43 minutes in change. 56 players now. Okay, so clearly many more entered this one, the virtual. On board, let's try e4. Yeah, in that game, my opponent gave me one too many pawns. Let's try the advance. And let's go with these modest kingside minor piece deployments. And hold off on committing my c-pawn just yet. Maybe c4. Maybe c3. I'm going to go with c4 now, trying to show that the queen on c7 is a bit too early. Wow, that is a big decision. The c-file is ripped open, and these two are on the same... They're on the c-file. This should be winning by force. I have a lead in development. This pawn makes it awkward for these guys to get out and about, and I'm already looking at rook c1 with knight discoveries. I think this has to be attempted. It's not. So this is probably just busted now. Knight takes here, or is there something better? I'm going to take here. And then take here. I'm winning a piece. Don't know if that was the best move order. Should be good enough. That was a very big decision to castle queenside. I guess we're going to take with the queen and go here, which is threatening this push. Discovered check, winning more material. Let's get on this open file. I don't want to help black develop. Maybe now I do. They had to work for it, though. Yeah, if I'm backing up, there's g5. I don't think I have a future with my queen there. My knight needs to reposition. He's a dummy. Black should find it difficult to stay coordinated. Let's just keep the knight out of c4. And let's do this. If they take, I get the d4 square for my knight. He'll go from being my worst piece to maybe my best piece. I think we're having that happen right now. Also, knight on d4 looks to get rid of this bishop. Let's just... can also go with b5. Well, let's just secure here. They take, they run into some pin. It might be alright. Actually, I'm going to do this. I don't think after f6 that would have really net me much. What I'm going to do is try to get rid of their glue. And their glue is their bishop. As soon as he's out, well, this was a pass pawn, and as soon as he's gone, now they have to watch out for all sorts of things. Bishop takes pawn. What about push? Or no, let's keep the structure as is. I have a flight square on f2 for my king. We're going to stay active with the queen. It's just a... No, actually there's not even a single check. I'm threatening bishop takes knight now. This is probably too much to deal with. Bishop takes knight. Could insert this check first. And probably just smash through. Yeah. Taking the pawns all with check. There shouldn't be any fortress here. Let's give another check. I'd like to take here with check. Got that. And what pawn to push? Don't think it matters too much. 48 seconds. Time is my biggest concern. Ideally, I'd like to move these guys on light squares, but it should be okay. Oh, let's move forward. Nothing wrong with that. Let's insert a check. No, let's just continue to push. Check and then push. No fancy skewers or anything. Let's go here and then push through. And that should do it. b8 next. They're going to play on some. Now they resign. Okay. Yeah, that was too quick a decision to go queenside there. I think better was to take on c4 and then try to operate on the d5 square. Knight e7 to d5. Okay. First time playing this opponent. Let's try the Dutch. Just for some variety. Yeah, you know, and I played this in the Simul earlier. It was one of the games I lost on time because of the site being down for just a bit. Okay. Well, one thing I like about the bishop being here, I could say, is that taking advantage of e6 with the knight is a bit harder to get in. I'd like to get e5 in one shot. Not easily accomplished. Let's see what they do about that, actually. Are they going to play here? Otherwise, getting in e5, I think, is very nice in one shot. So they didn't do anything about that. I am in a pin, but I don't think it's something that should be too much of inconvenience. I think I could resolve it pretty quick. Knight d5, c6. On pawn takes pawn, I think I'm going to be taking with the pawn. Maybe this was too early. I wonder if it's important for me to have first played c6. I'm not sure. Well, at the very least, I'm playing quick. And my opponent is already at the 2-minute mark. If they castle, I could already consider pushing. This knight will have to find a new square, and I could look to maybe try for f4. Okay, so I'm pretty sure knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Being uncastled, in short, I don't think I could, I don't think that's a wise choice for me. So I'm looking at c6 right now. I think that's a good idea. It may turn out that this knight is simply out of play. I weaken d6. For the moment, the queen could try to make use of that. e5. I'm going to close it up. With that last move, they've weakened d4. This is now a hole. I'd like to have dark square bishops off the board and a knight planted on d4. So what comes to mind is a light square bishop for knight exchange. And one day ending up with a knight on d4 that's... you just can't get rid of him. This was maybe too quick a decision. I want the queens off. Got him. And soon they're going to have to give this guy up, otherwise I'm trapping the bishop. Let's get this move in. Are they going to give up the c5 square? No, they held ground on that. Alright. Got to take with the bishop to keep this covered, and now my knight, as soon as he's on f8, I have this idea in mind. Okay. This is the right way forward. I don't think I'm in a position to have the A file open up, so that's why I think I do well to keep the tension. At the same time, this might be an idea. They gave up control of this square. So this might be my time to pounce on d4. On knight b3, I could do this. Let's do that. I think I only need one moment on this square for him to be disruptive. They may try to challenge him right away, but I could maybe be a pest with knight b3. I might actually be quite close to getting exactly what I want, which is a bishop for knight exchange and a knight on d4. My concern is that on knight b3 there's rook here, threatening knight takes pawn, rook takes, rook takes. Well, I'm going to hold off because of that tactic. I'm going to hold off on knight b3 because of this stuff and slow play it some. Let's get one rook exchanged. Maybe get my bishop on f2, pointing at c4, and then my knight back here. This is a really good square. So, if my knight's on e6 and their knight is on f3, I kind of view that as, you know, they're in a more restricted position. They have to play the role of defense. So they have to get back here, controlling d4. Bishop g4, now they're allowing me to get in here. And now things are now different because I could rely upon this square. My bishop is there to defend. So let's go here. Oh, rook here? Should I really be concerned about that? Probably. I don't think that rook is so much a bother. Alright, change of plans. That guy is just too much of a pest. Let's go here, defend the pawn. And... yeah, I don't have anything now. I didn't play that well. In fact, I think white is just better now. Bishop here, and then I'm going to soon lose this pawn. No, not... Oh, let's also watch out for the time here. I shouldn't have done that. Are they going to allow me to fix one of their pawns? They shouldn't have allowed that move. Okay. Yep, they played that well. That could have very easily gone wrong for them, so they did a very good job just then. Playing very fast. They're down on time. I couldn't quite pull it off. What I wanted to have happen. Maybe I missed something along the way with that earlier knight b3 move and rook b1. I just didn't see a good way to follow up and be able to maintain my knight on b3 because of that sack on a4, stripping my knight of defense on b3. Yeah, I think they defended well there from many of my positional threats. Okay, let's look for a central expansion, but before I do that, let's insert h3. I like this move to roll out any bishop g4 stuff. Let's tuck him all the way back. This was another game that I had in the simul that I was not able to finish, and I think in that game he was dropped in here, which stays out of knight c4 with tempo against my bishop. What this may mean is that I could allow the knight to sit there for just a bit. Ooh, I didn't see that move, but in the end I think they're going to end up with a target on d6. He's weak. How do they get rid of him? Probably a good follow-up is here and just get my last piece working, rook a to d1. Preparing to play d5 and eliminate this guy. Bishop f2? He's vulnerable there. Yeah, I think I'll be ready for some tactical sequence. Let's try this. I'm preparing to sacrifice on f2. Some captures here and then a knight here. Also, a knight on d6 would hit the whole farm. That may be close to happening. Very close, actually. Bishop takes, queen takes, knight takes pawn, hitting the queen and threatening. Knight d6, hitting everything. That may just happen. Let's see. Take there first, here next. And then on queen takes, knight takes bishop, hitting the queen, and then incoming knight d6. I also have this. So I'm not down any material, I just kind of saw it as, initially at least, I saw it as, their king is exposed, the position's open, and they're still saddled with this guy here. What am I missing? I don't understand why they... Well, I guess because I was going to do this, so now I'm just up the exchange. I don't think there's a reason to insert queen d5. Maybe there is. No. She has a responsibility here. I'd like a different flight square for my king. This could be a strong post. Maybe I should have f4 in mind. 2 points of attack right now. Let's go in for this. If they want to take here, I'll get to the 7th. This keeps their bishop at bay. Bishop here, probably get out of the pin so I could get an f4. If I do this, bishop c3, although I have this check. Can I just get some kind of mate, though, going on? No, they have this covered enough. Let's start with g3. No, they're covering that. Let's do this. Bishop c3, I have queen check. A bit level, let's say, on the clocks. Queen d5, queen f4, many different ways to be getting at the king. Could easily, what is that story with that? Just take the pawn with check. Don't understand that one. Okay. Well, I could even look to invest some material back. Give some material back. Maybe take the bishop here. Yeah, they just resigned. Yeah, I might have had rook takes and then here winning the rook on c7. I think that was a good decision by me to play bishop c4, although maybe instead of taking on e4 with their bishop, they could have considered d5 straight away. Not 100% on that, clearly. How are we doing in the standings? 20, 17, I'm at 16. Okay, let's try b4 in a 3-0 game. Okay, let's get him here. e3, c4. Yeah, let's go straight in for that. Oh, rapid development. I like it. And a3. Yeah. I don't want to do this. I'm a bit concerned at the a6 move. My knight knows where he belongs. My king knight. My king knows where he belongs. My queen knight, not sure. Let's do this first. Throw a pawn in the center. He's a very flexible piece on d2. Yeah, I like that. Knight on d2, rook on c1. I have c3 covered. Rook c1, knight here. I'm threatening this move now. Let's get my rook here. A knight on c5 would be nice. Queen on b3. Queen on b3 might run into a5. And on b5, there's a5. Let's get a flight square. I'm not quite sure how to play it. I'll come all the way back. I may want to play here. This is a strong piece, probably their best piece. I don't know. I could try to show that my light square bishop is better than theirs, being on this diagonal. But I don't know. How would they reply if I go straight in for a knight on c5? Especially now that the bishop isn't there to take him out. Striking at this heart, all sorts of tactics now, maybe even here as well. Knight takes pawn is here, knight takes pawn here as well. Counter sacrifice on b4 though. I want to win some material if I'm going to do that. Let's continue to develop. Queen e2, rook d1. Stay ahead on the clock here. This is a different scenario though. I'm going to take now. Knight takes here. Oh, actually I had that previously because there wasn't a counter sacrifice on b4. I could be taking here. I'm on c7. They're missing that. So I get this pawn. I'm up 2 pawns now. And all this just started just from having some pressure here. Just having a knight on c5 is just a monster. 141, still a bit level. Up 2 pawns. Okay. I could try to revisit that square. Yeah, let's actually try it with the rook. Pretty active piece. Let's double here. It's the only open file. Okay, you know what? I want to just get rid of one of their best pieces. Let's do this. My rook is inconvenienced on the recapture, but trades, nearly all trades should be favoring me here. b3, I'll go to c2. Not tactically vulnerable, I have defense here. And I'm in a spot to double up. Let's just go here, see if they invite my queen forward. Should be a very active piece on b5. There is no pin. They are insisting on a trade. I don't think that their knight on a7 is a good piece. I'd rather have this exchange occur. Knight for knight, maybe even knight e4. My knight controls their bishop. I think I want to play within the structure. I don't think it's necessary to even start pushing like this, giving up squares, giving black some targets. Let's take with the rook. I'm also in a spot to play queen c2. Knight b5 is a move. Let's step up here. No, I don't even want to allow knight d6 with tempo. Maybe now I do this, actually. I don't want to allow knight e4 or knight f5. I'm threatening this fork. Okay. Now I get to jump into these squares. Knight c6 incoming. This is a hole. I have support for it, maybe, with b5 or d5. My queen is attacked. But in the end, my knight on c6 is enormous. He's hitting everything, defending everything. Let's kick the knight away. And where's the win? Let's just take the bishop and enter. They don't have any time either. Let's just make sure the knight stays dead. He's going nowhere. He's still going nowhere. If the knight has to go to the corner to defend, it's no good. Yeah, just centralize the king. Bishop d6. And knight here. The bishop goes here and they're offset. They are down on time. Okay, yeah, the knight on c5 turned out to be a giant pest. 20 minutes, 50 seconds. Top is 24, 20 next. I'm at 20 with fire. 89 players in this one. Okay. Let's see what we get next. Here's a guy who has given me plenty of beatings. Chess Friend 90. We played, oh, here we go. Just as I say that. We've played many times in the marathon. Not the only time. Let's try French. Primarily 5-0 games, I think. Yeah, that's what the marathon was that I did. Half marathon, call it. An exchange French. Okay. Let's start with bishop d6. So that I could play knight here and bishop f5. Yeah, let's try this. This is a desirable exchange. Light square bishops ties in well with this guy. And let's castle. I want to keep this tension. I want them to capture me. Let's play rook here. And now, what about this move? I think this is fine. Okay, you insist. We're going to take. Maybe we take again. Yeah. Ooh, considering that capture, that would weaken this square a real lot. Okay. Don't know if I'm really playing this the best. Let's start with this move. There's nothing really happening on the queen side. Well, now there is. Let's stop that pawn from grabbing any space. Knight b3, I have b6. I'm looking for queen here and then queen f5. Yeah, this is important, because this knight might try to go over there. Queen is unprotected, so there's no in-between shots here. They have a time edge. A knight on d6 is a fantastic piece. Same for white, the corresponding d3 square. One rook off, I'm fine. I want to make sure I can maintain my knight here. He stops rook entry. King f7 next. It was very tempting for me. This was my knee-jerk reaction, but I want to make sure I can maintain this post for my knight, even though I was saying this is a good square. I want to stay flexible. He's a strong piece on f5 as well. My opponent sees this. It's an interesting move. Alright, I'm going to take, and who's to say that another knight cannot arrive here? When he does, he'd be striking at h4. So for starters, this move, I think it's fine to do that. This is weak, but I don't see this I don't think they're going to be able to target that. Okay, so they're drifting into this square. Maybe I should do this move. I'm going straight in for this. Maybe a bit early. Maybe I should have waited for the knight to be here because they could come over to d2. Gotta keep an eye on my time here. They have, what, 10 seconds? Okay, this I like because in the end I would have an active rook. I think this is a mistake. Yeah, because now I'm getting to the file first. There is no rook entry here. Definitely taking the knight, and now I have the active rook. That's all this one is coming down to. Who has the more active rook? And clearly it's black. This is the more influential file. They're under a minute now. So I'm just looking to strike at targets. The A pawn, C pawn. I'm going to win some material. They're going to play rook to b3. Not much I could do about that. Let's take here first. Then here. And I'm threatening this. I want to keep some pawns on. Okay. If the king goes forward, I get to take with check. I think they should have come over here. This is a really strong post for my rook. I'm going to work my king around. King here defends this guy. Could even do this check. If they push this pawn, this is now a target. That's further away from the king. He wants to be in the center, but now he can't be in the center and defend this target on g3. Let's go here. You take this guy, I get this guy. No tricky mates. He still lives. And actually, we could just start pushing this pawn. He's going to soon be one step away. And all these pawns should be mopped up soon, no? Let's just give a check. I could do that. I don't like how I'm playing this. This was very bad technique, what I'm doing. Should still be winning. Actually, I could come over like this, right? I don't want to, though. We're going to run it like this. Okay, they were in time pressure. That was still a win, but for a second I was just a little bit concerned. Oh, I'm walking a tightrope. I don't want my king even anywhere on the edge. I had an eye on their clock. Like, they're going to lose on time. Never fall for a mate in one in those situations. That was a long ways off, falling for some mate in one, but I took the safe path, let's just say. Yeah, let's try a Sicilian with d6. Alrighty. Bishop b5? No. Okay. Am I gonna get this move in? I am. Which breaks up their pawn duo. Subjects my king to a check, but I should be able to get out of it, right? One would think. Okay, yeah. This weakens d4, e4, call it. Pawn takes, check. I have this move. There's some problems on their dark squares now, and light squares. These two squares. Some big trouble. No? Alright, how about we first take... let's see. Let's do that first. Let's see if they give me their bishop pair. I want some security over this square before I try to put additional pressure on d4. This was bothering me, so now that he's secure and this knight is out of play, I could look to function work some on the dark squares. This is actually a very nice post. Am I afraid that he'll be out of play with g4? Yeah, a little bit. So let's do that instead. That's a very strong knight. But let's go here. I think this is only temporarily a bad-looking bishop. Takes and then push. Well, they gave up e4. Let's jump in. Now I could kick him out with f6. And it's tough to challenge. I really feel like giving him a boot. Let's do it. Weakens this diagonal. Don't know that I even want to take here. No, I don't. I'm looking for this move. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. This stuff. b3, I think, should come soon. I may allow double isolated pawns if I could grant my queen this square. Actually, yep, I was just ready to say that is a scary move. Okay, I have to be very careful of this square. It's a hole and already has support. So let's put immediate pressure on it, and my idea here is to capture with the knight so that I could try to hunt this pawn down. So what's necessary is knight there. They're giving me that pawn for, I don't think, any good reason. This seems safer. I think I could have gotten away with queen takes as well. I didn't see a good forward square for the knight. Good forward discovery. So I just want to get rook here and rook to c, or bishop to c8. But first, maybe best to get my knight out of the line of fire. I was ready to retreat, but why should I be retreating here? I should be thinking forward. This pawn controls this knight. I think I'm safe everywhere else. Let's go knight g3. Looking at the e4 square. No reason not to jump back into this weak point. Let's get there. Could even look to anchor him in. However, I don't want to be too quick to give this square back up. Let's go rook here. I have to be prepared for some sacrifices here. They have a lot of... oh boy. They have a lot of firepower there, is what I was ready to say. Bit scary. Yes. Let's get out of capture here with check. How about that? I want a bishop for knight exchange, and then everything is going to be fine. Bishop c8. 44 seconds. Fine with this. Definitely fine with this. Do I want to take with the rook? Probably. Queen e7. Look for some more exchanges. I'd like to have one rook off before I pull this rook away from the f-file. Okay. Let's just drop all the way back. I don't want this move to hit with tempo. I want to get my queen out of the way, so my bishop has direct sight of f5. Evening out on time now, 35 seconds each. Okay, that's a good move to see. I get queen here with tempo. Oh, that's what their idea was there. Okay, I have this move though. I want to get my king back over here. My pawn does a good job in restricting their knight now. Let's move forward. I weaken this dark square, but now the knight isn't getting to that square anytime soon. Plus they only have 20 seconds. There's the clock factor now as well. Let's do this. I want to keep out knight f4. Not sure what that's about. Okay. They just went a little nutty there. Time pressure. Just looking to get rid of that knight. They just threw the kitchen sink at me. They rattled off those moves too soon. Still a lot of time before those last seconds were burned. 32 is in first, 28. I'm 4 back. 32, 28, 27. Hayda, he is currently playing a game. Yes, this is still live. And, ooh, another tough opponent. Let's try let's try knight f3. How about? And d4. c4. In exchange, Slav. You boring player, you. Let's play knight c3. Go with the capture or what? Capture a4, bishop f5. Let's play something quick. Let's go for an exchange. Ooh, capturing in that direction still. And why not? Okay, let's pin the knight. Symmetrical structure. If you're looking to play on the queen side, these squares are extremely important. Like to see a dark square bishop exchange and my knight on c5. Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time in this tournament a knight would arrive on c5 and be good. He's all the better if there isn't a bishop around, as I could rely upon the knight's post on c5 for some time. I'm looking at a3, b4, a flight square. One of the reasons why I thought it was awkward to see that capture is because he's a problem piece. Let's do a3 first. And I think b4 is good, just ruling out knight here altogether, although knight a7 into b5 is an idea. This may run into a tactic. Okay, so what's the big idea? Okay, I think this is now a hole, and I think I should immediately drift to that square. I have some concern of this move, though. Don't think it's working. I think I could take here and then take on d5. It's messy, though. I wanted that exchange. This knight isn't... Okay, no, he is closer to getting here, so we're both focusing on these holes. I'm going to get there first and throw the first punch. Unlike, when you compare these two, I could take a knight out on c4 with my bishop. Time for a flight square? How about this? If this knight goes in this direction, how about queen d... No, I shouldn't have done this. He needs to be here to watch over this pawn. That was silly. Fortunately, it's a static structure, and I could afford this little time loss. I think I want to get rid of him right away. And actually, this is a winning shot, believe it or not. Threatening a fork, and yeah, if the knight moves, I have a fork with the pawn. And if they capture, I have a fork. Kind of lucked out there, because I wasted some time with bishop b1, and then back to d3. I also have a time edge, which is nice. I might as well pre-move this. Are they even able to get this piece back? Yeah. They have a connected pass pawn, which counts for something, but I don't think it should be enough. I'll just be looking to get my f-rook on the d-file. Are there any better moves in this position? I don't think so. How about queen just kind of zipping out here? I have this square covered. This could be an annoying piece, but my knight is really strong here. Also, let's not get our queen trapped or anything like that. Let's get a flight square, not the best one, but I think it's the right one. I'd like to have square for my king. Let's move forward here. I'm covering their flight square now. They see my knight as a strong piece. Maybe I don't want to exchange. A knight, yeah, I should exchange actually. And get my rook working. They have a sensitive back rank. Let's go rook here. Queen f4. I don't know how great of an inconvenience my queen really is here. Rook d8, I have queen f4. Queen takes queen, I have rook takes rook with check. Let's try to get the queens off. I can take with the rook. I want to keep my structure as is. I'll come back over here to contest the d-file. Let's just stop him from even thinking about moving. Get my rook over. Control some light squares. Look for f4, king f2, king e3, g4, f5. I'm going to clamp down here. King position. I could get this move in. Now that they don't have pressure, or they don't have defense of this. They still can't. I think I want to keep the tension. I think the more files that are that become open, the better off I am. Let's take. Should I have let that pawn move? They're going to transfer their rook. Yeah. I'm going to look to hunt down this pawn now with my king. Yeah, here. Bishop's going to go there. Is that a one king and pawn ending? Rook takes, king takes, boom, boom, boom. I think it's winning. My king gets to e3. Oh, it's not winning. Miscalculation. One on time, but that was bad calculation there. I only saw it as far as king to e3. With an eye in the clock as well. 36, 33, 32. Will I get paired up with one more opponent? Maybe. We have 106 players in this one. That might be the last one, with it being a 3-0 tournament. We'll see. Yeah, I really didn't even think about berserking or any of that. Just trying to play some good chess with the 3-0 time control. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that last game. And I don't think I'm going to get another pairing with less than 30 seconds now. This game's going on. It's the guy that's in first. All wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in. I'm 1 game shy of him, and yeah, not going to get paired up less than 5. Okay. Just barely in confetti land. I'll take it. We had 106 at the end of this one. Hada. And Tuan Min, 2009, 1-2. Snuck in there with third. 106. Ricky Remedy right on my heels. Fourth. Okay, let's have a look at everybody who took part in this one. Page 2. 3. Several pages to go through with this one. What were there? There were like 25 to start. A lot of late entries. And that's going to do it. Okay, to the 105 of you that took part in this. Good games. Oh.